to start off, I always do my hair first. I put my hair up. I have so much hair and it like always gets in my face. So I just like to make sure it's out of the way. Okay, so I start with my eyebrows first. And today I'm going to be going in with the Goof Proof Brow Pencil from Benefit. I'm in shade 4. So let me just get my eyebrows nice and combed out. Oh, and keep in mind that I am not a makeup artist, so I do use a concealer to help me with my brows most of the time. Line the rest of it, trying not to make sure like it's too thick, and then I kind of just fill it in because I have a lot of bald spots in my eyebrows. Okay, and then I kind of just go in with like hair brush strokes because you don't want a boxy eyebrow, but for me personally, I do not like how boxy eyebrows look on me, so I kind of just try to make it look like that. Okay, I'm gonna go do the other eyebrow off camera quickly and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm done with outlining my eyebrows, and I understand they don't look the same because I have a good eyebrow and a bad eyebrow, but that is where concealer comes in, okay? I use Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair Neutral for my concealer. Really flat, pointed kind of brush, to where I can just go underneath right there. I just put it kind of on my hand and then I'll pick it up with the brush. Interrupt my video, how rude. And then I just put it under my eyebrow and I kind of just shape it the way that I want it. Sometimes I honestly will do this a couple times because it won't turn out the way I like. So I'll have to go in and refill it and then I'll redo it and everything. It's a hassle. But I go in and I just make it kind of the shape that I want it. And try not to do that. You see, I got it into my hairs and yeah, this is gonna make it look like a bald spot now. See, and I kind of, like I said, I have uneven eyebrows. So I go in at the end, I make it kind of, I kind of try to make it pointed. I kind of go in and I clean it up as much as I can. And now I take like a damp beauty blender and I just kind of swipe around the edges to get it really pointed. And I try really hard to not get a part of my eyebrow that I didn't want to clean up and then just completely ruin the entire thing. Keep in mind that it's like this because I just spent like 10 minutes trying to look for a friggin' beauty blender. And now it's dry and I can't get it to clean up. So I'm just kind of, clean it up a little bit. Like I said, you're not going to be able to see this once I put foundation on and all that. Now I'm just going to kind of brush those out. And I do not like my eyebrows too thick. I like them kind of in the middle, and I think it looks good. This eyebrow looks good. This one on the other end, yeah, it needs to be cleaned up. So I'm going to quickly do this side off camera, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I apologize that I look so crusty right now because I have eyelash glue all over my eyes, and I have mascara under my eyes. Oh my goodness. It is the middle of the day right now. Just got home from school. And I take off my makeup when I get home, most of the time, and I take my makeup off and everything, and then I'll usually like wash my face because I get like breakouts. Like, it's getting better, but my face is not usually this much broken out, but everybody has that time that they like to break out or pimples like to sprout on their face. Okay, anyways, so I'm gonna start out with my face lotion that I use, And I know not everybody does this, but for me, because I have such bad skin, like at certain times, it's really easy for me to break out. I do like to put on a lot of protection before my makeup. So I use the Day Logic. It's Complete Beauty Lotion. It has SPF 15. It's really, really good. It has vitamin E and aloe, UVA and UVB protections, and it's for sensitive skin. And it's not an oily lotion at all. So I do love this lotion. I really do recommend it. And it has lasted me forever because a little bit like this, I probably didn't even need this much because it goes such a long way. But I put it everywhere. And I really like to rub it in, even down my neck, because it just really like makes your skin so soft. So yeah, I really do recommend this lotion. It's really good. Oh, it makes your skin feel so soft. Okay, so next, I use the POREfessional Pore Minimizer, and I have used this for probably, I want to say like 2.5 years. I recently just got into like full face makeup. I used to just do like, you know, little makeup, but even before I started getting into makeup, I used this and it was like ridiculously good on my skin. And it really does minimize your pores. Like my pores are humongous, okay? Don't get me wrong. But it really like, and it makes your face feel so soft. For me, I've noticed that it helps, or when I'm putting my foundation on, it like guides on like smoother over my pores instead of getting all, you know, in there. Anyways, okay, so since I'm not doing eyeshadow, the next thing I do is my foundation. And I'm gonna take my Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I'm in shade Light Neutral. And I use this because, let me tell you right now, I have oily and dry skin, which I know, not a lot of people say that. A lot of people either have one or the other, but I do. I have oily and dry skin. I get really oily, like, around my nose. And it's really weird. I get it, like, under my eyes, like, right here on my chin, and right here. And then the rest of my face is just completely dry. It's like the Sahara Desert. It's really hard for me to find a, you know, especially a full coverage foundation that doesn't make me break out. But I do really like this foundation, and it's an oil-free makeup, which is a huge thing. I do not like really oily products. And it's a 12-hour makeup, which I don't usually wear makeup like for a long time. I have like tested this out, and it has stayed on for longer than 12 hours. So I really recommend this foundation. If you have really oily skin, this is a really good foundation. Another one that I would also recommend is Bare Minerals foundation. And they're not like extremely pricey. So they're not like Fenty Beauty or anything. They are like somewhat affordable. Anyway, so I have these little like plastic pad things because I used to always put my foundation on my hand, and I would like accidentally touch my clothes or something afterward and forget to wash it off before I went somewhere. So I started putting it on one of these little plastic sheets, and believe it or not, like you get a lot more foundation than you would think. When you do it on your hand like absorbs it just like your face would when you're putting on foundation, so it kind of soaks up some of it. But when I use one of these little plastic pads, I get so much more out of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by kind of pouncing it on one side. I'm not really a huge like foundation person. I do not wear a lot of foundation most of the time. I'll put on like a powder foundation or a very light coverage foundation. But because I am breaking out and I want to look as good as possible, I do use this foundation for that. I have other foundations that aren't as full coverage, like my Bare Minerals foundation is not as full coverage, but it, you know, it works just as well. Like, it'll cover your pimples, it's just not extremely full coverage. Like, see, this one doesn't even completely cover my pimples, I do use concealer for that. I'll put concealer over pimples and then I'll blend it out. Really want to make sure, just a side note, that you get it. Make sure you don't leave any lines, like on your neck. Oh, it is one of my biggest pet peeves. When I see a girl that could potentially look good with the makeup on, if she would blend down her neck. Guys that would not normally know anything about makeup, like, notice that, and they know that it's not, you know, that doesn't look right. So I'm just saying, like, you know, you don't want to do that. You don't want to look like that. Okay, now I'm just going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. The littlest bit goes the longest way. Like, it is ridiculous to me. And me, I'm a very conservative person because I do not have a lot of money, okay? I'm right there with most of y'all that watch beauty gurus and stuff. We don't have the money to be spending on all these, you know, different stuff. But, like, this is ridiculous. Like, the amount that I paid for this actually wasn't bad because it was on a sale, luckily. But usually, you know, most people don't buy high-end makeup because it's expensive. But this concealer is so worth it because it really does last such a long time. I recently, like, I used to never think makeup was, like, super cool. I never really understood why girls were so gaga over makeup until I was, like, 14, 15-ish. And I started, like, wearing it a little bit more and, like, trying it out and watching, like, little makeup tutorials on Instagram and stuff. And I was, like, kind of shook by how much makeup can transform you. I'm going in with my Hoola Contour Cream Stick. And I just kind of, I put it, you know, literally right below, like in between that underneath and above my cheekbone area. And I put it on my, you know, on my forehead. So I'm going to go in with this Bare Minerals brush. It's actually a foundation brush, so do not drag me for this, okay? I understand this is a foundation brush, and a lot of the brushes I use them for the wrong products, but I find that they work better for me this way. Kind of just blending it out. Like, I kind of go in a circular motion, but then I also go up, because I feel like if you go down, it smears the product, and it makes your face look weird, like more bronzy and brown than it should. Like, I personally don't like that. On my nose, I kind of just blend. I do not quote me when I say anything because I'm just showing you what I do. I'm not showing you how it should be done. I personally don't like deep contour on me unless I am literally really trying to chisel something out. Like, then I might go all out. But for me, I like to kind of lighten my contour to where you could, like, see it, but it's not too much there. I'm going on with my Airspun Loose Face Powder. I do more lean toward products that smell better, you know? I go through, and like I said, I don't like a super deep contour, so I kind of just, like, highlight and I cut out my contour to make it look as natural and as, like, chiseled as possible. So I'm gonna go in with, it's like this rounded kind of poofy brush that I use. It's not a name brand brush, so it doesn't have any numbers on it. So I'm just gonna kind of describe to you the brushes I use because they don't have numbers on them because your girl's working on a budget. So now I'm just gonna kind of let that sit there for a minute. I really do. I kind of just, like, sit there and I'll, like, look at my face and I'll, like, analyze and, like, see if I'm thinking I'm missing something. I kind of just, like, take a minute and I just kind of look through my face and I let it sit there and let it bake, and then for probably, like, honestly, like, a minute or less. I don't really leave it on there for that long unless I'm doing an eye look. And then I just kind of brush it off. With this, I do brush outward, and I kind of just go over my eyes too with just, like, any powder that's still left on the brush. Ooh, there is no flashback. I take pictures with it all the time. Like, you can go to my Instagram. I have multiple pictures with this powder on. And there's no flashback whatsoever, which is great because no one's trying to be like Flashback Mary right now. I'm gonna go in with this Clinique, and it's a bronzer. See, it's a nice little bronzer. This is 9 Neutral, okay? It's for like medium to natural faces. You kind of just... Also, like I said, because I do work on a budget with makeup, I order things off Hush, and Hush is honestly a good place to get makeup. Don't get me wrong, they have lots of dupes, which I'm not all for unless you can't afford regular makeup, because they are stealing other people's ideas, you know, stealing their work. But for me, it's great because I got this highlighting palette, which is so good. Like, look at that. Oh, girl, it has me shook. Like, I'll even swatch a couple right now. I don't agree with them stealing. Oh my gosh. Real quick, this is so creamy. Like, look at that. This is so creamy.